How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another World of Tanks video. Today we're going to be talking about Steel Hunter. I'm going to show you everything you need to know about it, what rewards you can get, what the best tanks are to play, and just how to really kind of get yourself into it. So first of all, we're going to go straight to the Steel Hunter game mode. So as soon as you click that, you'll be greeted with a different garage. Now this garage is going to be, obviously very different to what you're used to, and you are greeted with 3 different tanks. Also, you're going to be greeted with 3 different crew members, 1 for each tank. Now, these crew members cannot be knocked out, so don't worry about, having a shot go in and then you're just dead instantly. The crew cannot be hurt, injured, dead, doesn't matter. Just ignore the fact that normal World of Tanks can have their crew members knocked out and just, keep it how it is. It's just 1 crew member, they can't be hurt. But the 3 different tanks for the different nations, one is a German, one is an American, and one's Russian. Now, you're going to have German tank, which is kind of the more heavy tank. You've got then the medium or lighter tanks, which are going to be the American and the Russian. Now, the Russian tank is going to be more like that light tank. As you can see over here, you've got advantages and disadvantages. So this has got good speed and good penetration for its gun, obviously. It's not got good radio detection operation. Now what that is when you press X, you ping out a wave of radio waves that will then detect anything within your detection radius. Now by default on this tank, it is 300 meters. For the German tank, it is 325. And for the American, it is 350. As you can see, this has an advantage of good radio detection operation. Going back to the Russian tank, it's got bad, as I've said, radio detection operation and bad DPM. So this tank's not going to be able to, just sit out in the open and just keep killing you over and over and over again, It's not got that gun that can keep doing that. The American tank does have good DPM, so it's kind of the opposite of the every tank has their counter. It doesn't have good armor, and it's got pretty poor alpha damage. Now, if you're going to move on to the German tank, this is the heavy tank. It's got armor, it's got great alpha, and it's not got good speed and not good penetration. But honestly, this game mode relies on armor quite heavily. Now, sure, mobility is always nice. Just like in normal World of Tanks, you want mobility. You don't want to be an absolute slug of a tank. But having said that, armor in this game is very important. None of these really matter when you're going into it because they can all be upgraded. And let's have a look at the upgrades now. If you click modules and weak spots right here, you'll be then greeted to this screen. From here, you'll see tier 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 8. For the tier 2, it's going to be a track upgrade. Now this is going to give you good traverse speed and a little bit more gun handling, depending on which one you choose. As you can see, these actually all join together up until you get a bit further on down the line. So you've got to be careful of which you choose if you want to decide to have this at the end. Because obviously if you choose this one, for example, you can only choose these 2. You couldn't choose this and then choose that straight away. Okay, so likewise, if you choose this, you can't choose this, for example, So this will increase your accuracy on the move and also your traverse speed. Depending on which one you choose, it will debate whether or not you get more traverse speed or more gun handling. So if you choose we're going to call this the first tier, the second tier, third, fourth, okay? So if you choose the first tier, you're going to get more traverse speed, as you can see there. If you choose the second tier, you're going to get more gun handling. Going on to the third upgrade, you're going to get this detection range. As I've said about the radio range, this is going to either give you a good cooldown or it's going to give you a greater detection radius. Now this is what I would recommend most people to choose, as honestly the cooldown isn't that big of a deal, and I'd much rather have 525 meters detection radius rather than 325 or whatever it is on the tank that you're choosing. Tier 4 is an engine upgrade, so you're going to get a speed boost. You can either choose that you want to have a better top speed with OK engine power, which is this one right here. As you can see, 57 top speed and 1000 brake horsepower or horsepower engine. Or you could have an engine power of 1300 and a 44 km/h top speed. Moving on to tier 5, gun upgrade. You're going to get either a good kind of rate of fire gun, or you want big alpha. Now, this is very personal preference. Honestly, either one is going to be okay. But what I would say is, sure, you get a bit less rate of fire, but you do get better DPM with the higher alpha on the German tank. Now, I'm not too sure about the other ones. German one is the one that I played the most, and I'll go into the reasons of it why later on. When you get to tier 6, it's going to be a hull upgrade. You can either choose to have a little bit more mobility and, you know, keep the weight down a bit, or you could just go for, I want to be a slug and just get the best armor possible. Now, this is one that I would recommend because survivability in this game is very important. You know, if you don't have survivability, then, you know, you can't really, it's very awkward being at lower health when you're later on in the game and you're against someone that's got great armor. Having said that, you cannot then go and choose this one or any of these two. And if we look at the tier 7 one here, you can get better spotting. Now, this is pretty much, I wouldn't ever really choose this. It doesn't really make sense. You're getting lower armor. You know, I don't see the point of this, and the view range isn't even that amazing anyway. Like, honestly, when you press X and you can detect them, like, you know where they are, so I wouldn't, you know, this isn't really a necessity. View range doesn't really matter that much in this game because of this radio detection range. You know where they're going to be if they're nearby. However, the second one is debatable. I mean, yeah, sure, you get a little bit more armor, but you also then get a good traverse speed. So, you know, this one is, it's up to you between these two, because if you choose this one, then you can go on and get the auto loader, you know, the auto reloader, and it's a reverse auto reloader. So this gun is basically the same or similar to the IS-3A. However, if you choose this, you're going to get the best armor possible, and basically at the end of the day, you're going to be a VK4502A. You know, that's a tier 8, you know, and all of them are going to be basically tier 8 tanks when they reach the end of the upgrades. As you can see, obviously it's up to tier 8, but if you choose this, then you only get a choice between this gun, which is nice, which is what I usually choose, or this gun, which has insane alpha damage. You know, so when you get to around here, around to tier 7, you've really got to think about this and which one you want to actually use. Do you want a bit less armor, but a great gun, you know, with an auto reloader? Or do you want all the armor in the world and just have an amazing gun still, but it's not got an auto reloader? Also, another thing that they've got here is the weak spots tab. I don't know why this isn't on every single tank in the game. This would be amazing for new players. They could just come into here, they could click the tank, click the weak spots, and then know where everything is. Sure, it isn't really, let's say, weak spots, you know, like, it doesn't tell you where you can pen them. It just tells you where the valuable items are in the tank. The ammo rack, the engine, the fuel tanks, you know. And there's no fire extinguishers in this game. You set someone on fire, they're going to burn. You know, this is a really valuable thing to know. I mean, everyone's going to know this if you've been playing water tanks for any period of time that's longer than, I don't know, just starting. But usually fuel tanks are in the back of the tank and the engine is there as well. That's how most tanks are built. Okay, so I've gone through the tanks and all of the upgrades are similar. I mean, as you can see, for the American one, they are very, very similar. It's just that this doesn't get a auto reloader. It's just an auto loader. If we go to the Russian tanks, at the end of the day, you're going to be making an IS-3. You know, you could make it an IS-3A. Go for it. It's got a 257U turret as their best kind of turret in class, and the IS-3 hull is very troll. Overall, if you get all of these to tier 8, I would say these two are very competitive. The American one, not so much, in my opinion. At the end of the day, you're going to be looking towards something that's a bit more like a Patton or a Pershing. That's obviously got a great gun if you choose. These two have a lot better armor when they reach the higher tiers, whereas this one, it kind of just doesn't really have it as much, you know? So, okay, I've spoken about all the tanks now. What about the rewards that you can actually get from this game mode? If you click up here, you'll see that it's giving you all your different ranking systems, and it goes all the way up to 25. You know, obviously it's going to give you different bonuses when you get there. If you click here for the awards, you're then going to be greeted with everything about this game mode and the rewards. You can get 5,000 bonds if you get all the way to 25. That's obviously in total, you're not going to get 5,000 bonds at the end. You know, you get 4,000 up to 24, then you get an extra 1,000 when you get to 25. For free-to-play players, this game mode is actually really nice. Not only do you get all these bonds, which aren't really readily available always to free-to-play players, you also get all this money, and also, once you reach to 15 and 25, you get a day of premium at 15 and 3 days of premium at 25, which is really nice. Now, the total amount of credits you're going to get at the end of it, if you get all the way up to 25, is 2.15 million. Now, that's quite a bit, especially for a free-to-play player, and considering that you don't really have to do too much, you know, you just have to play a bit well. I mean, honestly, it's not too hard to rank up, let's be honest. If you're somewhat competent at the game, then you should be okay. Play it smart. If you're not very good at the game, play it a bit slower. If you play it slower, you'll make less mistakes. You know, you don't need to rush this game mode. You know, it's completely free. And as you can see, you even get some cool little badges. When you get to 15, you get a badge that you can display when you're actually in a battle. And also for 25, you get the same thing. Also, another thing, you get a special camo once you reach 15 and also 25. I believe these can be used on any vehicle. I'm not too sure. Obviously, it can be used for only tier 7, 8, or 9, as it says there. I don't know about the nation, though. And let's not forget, this game mode is completely free. You don't have to spend a penny. It's not like Homefront, where you have to buy into all this fuel to actually play it. You know, this is just completely free to play. Another thing that I want to mention, just before we get into the gameplay, there's also consumables. Now, this turbocharger here is a bit like speed governors, only on steroids, and you get these massive flames that come out the back of your tank, and it doesn't damage your engine at all. Large repair kit, you can collect more of these. All of these you can collect as many as you like. I don't think there's a cap. I'm not sure. You can collect as many of these as you like. Now, obviously, large repair kit is going to do what a repair kit does, just like in normal World of Tanks. Recovery. This is, if anyone's played World of Warships, a bit like the battleships, where you can press it and you'll recover a certain portion of your health. Now, it does take 7 seconds to do this, so it's not going to be instant, but keep that in mind. Target tracking, you just basically get insane gun stabilization and dispersion. It's like you got about 18 different vert stabs on your gun. Airstrike works exactly the same as in Frontline. You press it down, you click where you want it, and it comes in. Recovery zone. If you play in a platoon, which you can play in this game mode, you don't just have to play solo, you'll get a recovery zone which will basically heal your team, and this will last 12 seconds. Trap. This will slow every enemy vehicle that is within the area for 15 seconds. It will also basically reduce anything, so that's rate of fire, anything like that, by 33%, as it says there. And smoke screen, exactly the same as Frontline. You plop it down, it's going to create a wall of smoke, and you remain unspotted unless they come into proxy range, in which case, obviously, you're going to get spotted. Okay, so I've explained everything you need to know about this area. Let's go into some gameplay. Okay, here we are. We're in the game. Straight away, you can see that there's a green circle. Now, just ignore the beeping. I believe that's just to tell you where, you know, this next circle is as soon as you spawn. Don't quote me on that, though. I'm not 100% certain. Now, as you see, we just collected the consumables. Now, the green one is consumables. There is an orange circle, which is the one I'm going to right now. And there is blue and red. Now, the red one is going to be for the destroyed enemies. The blue one is going to be an airdrop. Green one, consumables, and orange ammunition. As you can see there, I've just done the press X so that I got my detection range. And that's spotted 2 enemies that are right behind me. Although they have got a wall in between me, so I'm not too worried about them. And they're probably going to be fighting each other, let's be honest. This is, after all, a free-for-all. Right here, you can see 2 upgrade options. I've just collected enough consumable points to upgrade my tier, and now I'm at tier 2. And I did choose the second tier, so we're going to be choosing to have a bit better gun handling. As well as that, it's going to boost the traverse speed a tiny bit, so that we can get a little bit more maneuverability. And you can see, we're just collecting up everything at the moment, and this is what you want to do. You kind of want to avoid combat at the start, because everyone's at a kind of a level playing field. And we're going to choose the 500 meters detection range right there as well. Everyone's at a level playing field when it's first starting. And with these like kind of battle royale games, you want to loot up and then try and kill people. Sure, like you could just go straight into the action, why not, but if you actually want to win, then you want to kind of, you know, play this a bit carefully and smart. You want to loot up and then, you know, pick your fights and kill who you can. As you can see, there's obviously the airdrops coming in now, and we're going to just sit underneath one while we fight this guy. Now, hopefully he doesn't shoot us because it will reset the airdrop. Luckily he bounces though, so it's not an issue. And as you can see, the airdrop gave us a lot of points, and the airdrops will give you the most points overall. Obviously, you're going into different circles, it's going to give you different points. The consumables and ammunitions, they're not going to give you too much. I think they give you 300, as well as that the spoils of war, the red circles which are destroyed enemies. Look at that shot. What was that? It wasn't even, he was like behind the rock. But no, the red circles do give you some points, I believe, although they're not as much. It depends if I think that you killed them. If you killed them, then I think you do get quite a bit of points, but if you didn't, then I don't think you get any. I'm going to collect another airdrop, and as you can see, look, we're at 2071. Do that, 600 points. That's 2 normal capture zones, let's say. You know, and we're going to, of course, choose the better gun. Now I'm going to fast forward it a little bit here because it is a bit slow. All we done was just, you know, collect a bit more of the resources, and we're now going to try and fight some enemies. Obviously, we've got a much better gun now. You know, we can actually, you know, afford to fight these people. It's not going to be such a level playing field now. Obviously, having said this, you know, other people could have upgraded as well. But let's hope that we can actually, you know, find some people that haven't. You know, like this guy. This guy has not upgraded his gun yet. As you can see, you know, we're doing 560 damage and he's doing 215. It's insane. Another thing I want to say, as you can see, there are heat rounds in this game. That's not, you know, someone pressing the 2 key and paying wargaming. You get these for free. As you can see, I've got 18 and I'm going to use them because I have no idea how that bounced. But the heat rounds in this game not only increase your penetration like normal premium ammo does, it also increases your alpha damage. So basically, if you have these heat rounds, they're super useful. Because not only are they going to increase your penetration, your alpha is going to go up. A bit of an unfortunate shot there. As you see, there is a new hull available, which is the VK4502A hull. And there we go. You know, now we've got a lot more hit points. As you can see, we've got 2,000 odd hit points now. You know, we're starting to look a lot more healthy. And there are 12 tanks remaining. That is including me. As you can see, we've now fast forwarded a little bit more because it's just a lot of just driving around, not really seeing anyone. This tank isn't the fastest. Going to pick up an airdrop. Now, watch what I do here. I know that he, you know, can't shoot me again. He's just fired. We waited because when you fire or you get hit, you then cannot upgrade for a certain amount of time. So we waited. We then took the upgrade so that we could get the turret, and now we're a full-fledged VK4502A, just with a much better gun. And now we can really just bully them. Like, we are by far the best tank here. And we're going to press 3, you know, the speed governors on steroids. I really wanted to ram this guy, but yeah, unfortunately didn't really work out. And even when you're standing still for some reason, your tank's on fire. Don't really know. Now, you saw right there that I was in the red zone, and when you're in the red zone, you're going to start taking damage or even be killed instantly as soon as the countdown timer goes down. I've never been in there long enough to find out because I just don't want to. But if you're in an orange zone, then you need to leave, and it will give you some time before it finally goes red, and then you really do need to leave. But if it's in an orange zone, you've got more than enough time to get out no matter what tank you're in. So if you just start and then suddenly it's orange, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You've got enough time to get out. And here we go, we're going to do the final upgrade. Obviously, this is the route that I've taken. As you can see, you can actually press N and it will display this for you. So you don't just have to do this control and then 2. You could just press N each time and then pick your upgrades as you're going along. And we're going to do the speed governors again, or the turbocharger they've called it. And yeah, it looks beautiful. I think I was trying to get a thumbnail during this video, because this is all recorded live as well. Like, this isn't... the replay system is bugged, and it really annoyed me, because I got a really nice win, and then it just, you know, the replay system doesn't even work. So yeah, that was fun. Thanks, Wargaming. As you can see on that second shot, he juked out. That was yeah, not so fun. Airstrike it's not going to work. I've not got him spotted anymore. But now we're going to try and progress up and try and kill these last 2 people. As you can see, there is only 3 of us remaining, and that does include me. Don't try and get that mixed up. If you see that there's 3 alive, or there's whatever number there, that is including yourself. Now, I want to try and sneak up on these 2 people. We're fully upgraded. We're ready for this situation. Somehow that bounces. I have zero clue how. And I now want to just put this airstrike down, see if I can take this guy out. If we take him out, he gets stunned as well from the airstrike, which is always a bonus. And notice there how I activated the trap, but it didn't come with me. Now, that's because at the time, I did actually think that this trap would travel with me, but it doesn't. And we're going to use the last shell, take him out, nice and easy. Give a little salute as well. So yeah, like that's a game where you win. You gain 26, as you can see, I gained 26k credits in the bottom right there. But you're also going to gain a lot of bonuses as you progress up the tiers. And it's a lot like the ranked game mode in that respect, with the chevrons. And obviously you're going to get some bonds as well. So if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, and I'll see you in a bit.